love tomorrow. I want to hear you. Give her some TLC. Here is Barbara Belvisi.
Hi there. Okay. Start. From light to atoms. So, it starts with light, bright light, a bang across the universe. As far as we remember, 30.8 billion years ago. Incredibly hot and dense. And not even in a second, quarks and elementary particles start to form. They gathered into neutrons and protons. A few minutes later, Nucleus synthesis started. And it took 400,000 years for the first element, helium, to form. Then hydrogen, the second element, and finally, photons were moving around and light could spread. A few million years after, finally, the universe is cooling down and gravity is starting to play its role. Stars are forming. Inside the stars, the collision of helium and hydrogen is forming almost all the particles, all the elements that we know right now in the universe. Then more supernovas, more explosion, and a lot of matter. And from this matter, the systems, the planets, are starting to form. Took some time, a few billion years, and then the solar system appeared. And finally, one day, the Earth was born. The blue planet, the pale blue dot, not too far from the sun, not too close from it. It appeared at the perfect time and space for life to begin. Built. Fire and water. Fire. The energy inside the Earth started bursting. Rock, ashes, gases spreading out from the heart of the planets, creating this primitive atmosphere, a protective shield against solar radiation. Water vapor, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, methane, ammonia, all the elements were released on the surface of the planet and helped forming the crust and started the formation of the ocean. Water, H2O, 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen, ocean, are the cradle of life on Earth. Not only they help cooling down the whole planet, but also they created a vast environment for molecules to interact and collide. Together, volcanoes and ocean prepare the Earth to receive what was necessary for life to start. Design. First forms of life. Deep in the ocean, in a chaotic molecule, soup of molecules, matter for the first time turned into life. First thing, carbon, nitrogen, and some phosphate created RNA, the ancestor of DNA. RNA knows how to self-replicate. Then fatty acid that was brought by meteorite, they created a membrane around the molecule, and they protected it. And for the first time, cells were born. Primitive life on Earth could start. Branch. Organized complexity. Unicellular life moved into multicellular life. Primitive organisms developed more complex abilities and structure, and marine life emerged. Algae, corals, jellyfish. But then a monumental transition occurred when very intrepid species started getting out of the aquatic habitat to go onto the land. Moss started spreading around alongside lichens. Together, they scrub the CO2 out of the atmosphere. They store it into the soil, and they release oxygen. They also extract the minerals from the rocks and change the composition of the soil so a new form of life could emerge. They decided as well to team up with fungi so they can spread information and nutrients. Plants spread all around the earth. Their morphology evolved over time. They grew leaves. They grew more complex rooting system, reproductive organs, and also flowers, so they can attract pollinators. The plant kingdom has conquered the earth. It was an explosion, and it is, of colors, creativity, and interconnection. It created an equilibrium within the biosphere, a shelter for sentient life. Earth has become an habitable planet. Learn. Plant superpowers. What if we could learn from plant kingdom how to create biospheres where life can thrive? What if we can empower any planets to become habitable to support conscious life? Intricacy and marvel of plant biology are astonishing. Look at photosynthesis. A plant will harvest the sunlight, take CO2 and water vapor, and transform it into glucose and oxygen. Then the glucose will go inside the plants to form what are called primary metabolites, protein, lipid, carbs, that will make the cells and the tissue of the plant. Then some of the carbon is used to create secondary metabolites that are a response for plants against the environmental stress. So those are alkaloids, terpenoids, phenolates, and those are tremendous application for humans, for animals. They provide medicine, flavor, pigments. What if we could build places for plants to grow? Imagineer a future full of life. I had a vision a few years ago, a vision of a station inside which we will recreate perfect conditions for life to thrive on Earth and in space. So I formed a company and I surrounded myself with amazing people. I call them the Imagineers that will help me turn the dream into a reality. And so we started by drawing pods. And then we use tools, software, simulation, calculation, to test our design. Mixing creativity and inspiration from nature, we move from design to engineering. Then we build prototype, we even build a small version of the station. The station was composed of different pods, 4 pods actually, connected through the central connector and a tunnel. Each pod has a specific function: human habitat, plant production, water treatment, and station can be formed like flowers with petals and a connector, and it can grow organically. The time for the simulation was over. Now was time to build. Shape. Biopod on Earth. So it took us 18 months, and actually I was not with you last year because we were at the factory assembling the first Biopod. So first Biopod was born September 2022. He has almost a year. He's 11 meter long, 6 meter wide, and 5 meter high. It's made out of a structural shell inside which we put the hydraulic and atmospheric system so we can autonomously recreate any type of climate. On top of the shell, a membrane, an inflated bubble that separates the biopod from the atmosphere. Biopod takes CO2 from Earth's atmosphere and recreate the climate plants needed to grow. It breathes, takes the CO2, release the oxygen, control the temperature, the humidity, the light. It's smart, it has microcontrollers, it recycles water, no waste, no pollution. Inside the bubble, we adapted the system so we can grow any type of plant life. And over the past 12 months, we actually have been growing medicinal plants and trying to get the so-called alkaloids, but also flowering plants for their aroma, for the perfume and cosmetic application, and also fruits that we just eat. Biopod captures the data. It's smart. It captures the data and tries to understand how plants are reacting to environmental stress. And we store this data in what we called our library of plant kingdom. The next step for us is to build more biopods. We're actually selling them. We just sold one today to large cosmetics, pharmaceutical, and food companies. They use them so they can sustainably grow the plants they need. Biopod exists on Earth to help preserve the Earth's biosphere. Dare. Spreading life in space. Oh yes, we dare. The vision was not only to preserve life on Earth, but also to bring life into the stars. So we are going. Humans are going back to the moon very soon, and we already have humans that are flying to the space station. So we thought, what if we could bring some other form of life to the space station, to this extreme environment? But this time, no bubble. This time, cubes that can fit into a station. So we built it for NASA, and it's called Nucleus. Nucleus is a combination of 9 cubes. Each cube is, of course, environmentally controlled, and we create any type of climate. Each climate is dedicated toward a specific species. And this time, not only we've been growing plants and vegetables, but also insects and mushrooms. We actually won't stop there. We also want to go to the moon. And thanks to NASA, and also with the help of NASA and ESA, we're looking at adapting our biopod for lunar environment. One step at a time. We're not ready yet. We still have some design iteration to do on our biopod, change the membrane and the system so it can work. And we can finally bring life on the moon. And of course, the next one will be Mars, the red planet. Mars has oxygen, CO2 and atmosphere, and we want to help, terrestrial life become multiplanetary by deploying our system on the surface of the red soil. Wonder. Becoming interstellar. As Carl Sagan said, exploration is in our nature. We began as wanderers, and we are wanderers still. We have lingered long enough on the shores of the cosmic ocean, and we are ready at last to set sails for the stars. Our mission? Preserve life on Earth and expand consciousness within the universe. I am Barbara, and we are Interstellar. Thank you.
David.